Them when we bring them. No?
The special meeting is called back to order. Will the secretary please note that all board members are present with the exception of board member Pastor Rivera and board member, oh, that's it. Yes, I have a note for that. Is there a motion to adjourn the executive session?
So moved.
Okay. So a motion has been made by board member Oliver to adjourn the executive session and seconded by board member Cross. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please indicate, yeah. Motion carries. Oh. Is there any discussion?
So we just need to move, no, the executive session is adjourned. Now we just need the item 3C.
Okay, so next item is 3C, motion to instruct the designated representatives of the public body regarding matters discussed in executive session as necessary. Is there a motion to affirm instructions given to representatives of the public body in executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion to affirm instructions given to representatives of the public body has been made by Representative Marquez and seconded by Board Member Oliver. Is there any discussion? No? On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3D is a motion to adjourn the special meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn the special meeting? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Board Member Napa, seconded by Board Member Oliver. On the motion, please, of those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. The regular meeting is called to order. Will the secretary please note that all board members are present with the exception of Board Member Pastor Rivera. And please note that today's meeting is being live streamed. We will also provide Spanish interpretation services available at the side of the room.
Si necesita intérprete en español, favor de mirar a nuestro intérprete que se encuentra a un lado del cuarto. Gracias.
And before we move on to the next item, I wanted to note that Board Member Pastor Rivera is not here, even though he really wanted to be here for today's session. So that is why I'm leading the meeting. And he is not here because he is traveling with his 8th grade students on a school trip to Washington, D.C. He is a teacher himself, and this is the first time his school has made this visit in over a decade, so it's very meaningful to him and his family lineage, and also him as a teacher to his students. Oh, yeah. The first item on the agenda is 1C, Pledge of Allegiance. We will stand as Member Cross leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing while a moment of silence is observed. Thank you. Please be seated. Next item on the agenda is the land acknowledgement. Please remain seated as Member Napa will read the Phoenix Union Land Acknowledgement Statement.
The Phoenix Union High School District is responsible
for, and committed to creating educational environments that prioritize the achievements of Native American students. We are committed to making their cultural identity visible by acknowledging that our school district resides upon the ancestral lands of the original caretakers, the Huhugam ancestors of the Ankh-Akim-Atam, Tohono-O'odham, and the Akchin. These sovereign nations are presently known as the Gila River Indian Community, Salt River Pima Indian Community, Tohono-O'odham Nation, and Akchin Indian Community. This formal acknowledgement is dedicated to the 22 sovereign nations of Arizona. PXU understands the importance of providing reparations through truth-telling. We recognize the historical injustices not traditionally taught in the classroom and are committed to practices prioritizing Native American knowledge, history, representation, and healing. We commit with an open mind to always respect the land, its histories, and its ancestors.
Thank you, Member Napa. Now, Member Oliver will present the art display.
All right, everybody. The Visual Arts Department at the Academies of South Mountain High School. Can I give it up for that? Yes. Proudly showcases the creativity, skill, and dedication of its student artists. The program offers a wide range of courses: ceramics, drawing and painting, photography, digital arts and animation, jewelry and fiber arts, sculpture and 3D arts, and art foundations. Lovely. Giving students the chance to explore multiple mediums while developing strong technical and creative skills. Students learn critical thinking, problem solving, craftsmanship, collaboration, and personal expression, preparing them for success beyond high school. Many are also working toward the Arizona State Seal of Arts Proficiency, demonstrating advanced artistic achievement. This semester, the department hosted a student exhibition focused on themes of love and literature and visual art, highlighting the ways students interpret human experience. They now look forward to their end-of-year exhibition, celebrating growth and accomplishment across all visual art pathways. The academies at South Mountain are proud of their students, and so are we. We're proud of their creativity, their risk-taking, and support for one another. The Visual Arts Department is honored to present this collection as a reflection of their talent, perseverance, and passion.
Thank you, Member Oliver. Let's give it up for South Mountain. Okay. And now we will move on to Board Member Cross about, yes, please read your statement.
District-wide Future Business Leaders of America celebrating. Tonight, I have the honor of highlighting some of our absolutely outstanding students from the Future Business Leaders of America program from Camelback Central and Metro Tech High School. Each of the students here this evening earned first place at their regional and have qualified to compete at state. At this time, I'd like to thank the three advisors that Jose Herrera, Kay Olson, and Renee Morgan, and I'm going to ask Clerk Meyer to read the names for two reasons. One, I'm really bad at pronouncing the Latino name. Secondly, I will probably start crying in the middle of it. So I'm passing this to Clerk Meyer. Oh, she's got it? Okay. No, I'll cry anyway.
And did you share about your coaching experience?
Oh, I did get to coach the parliamentary procedure team from Metro Tech.
So tonight we are recognizing from Metro Tech High School advisor Jose Herrera. And then for accounting, Jorge Rodriguez. Computer problem solving, Juan Viveros. Entrepreneurship, Marquez Paez Roman Torres. Parliamentary procedures, Mendiz Nis, Oaxaca Vega, Reyes, and Rivera Rasgado. Retail management, for this position, Eduardo Escamilla Pineda. Technology support and services, Ray Areola. And then from Camelback High School, of course, the advisor, Kay Olson. And Advanced Accounting, Jennifer Laura Torres. And from Central High School, recognizing our advisor, Renee Morgan. And under their advisee, Introduction to Business Procedures, Brianna Green. And these are all of our very successful students, and they're very proud advisors. So thank you. So Member Marquez, please.
Yeah. Our last celebration this evening is in honor of Music in Our Schools Month. If you arrived prior to the start of the meeting, you were able to hear the beautiful sounds of the Maryville Guitar Ensemble and contemporary music under the direction of Mr. Ruben Macias. In addition to celebrating the Maryville Guitar Ensemble and contemporary music, we also want to recognize the Maryville Mariachi, was also invited to perform live in studio at a local TV news station, and will receive a proclamation at the Arizona House of Representatives on April 15th by Representative Ana Abetia. Needless to say, we have some incredible student musicians and some incredible music instructors in our district. Turning our attention to another incredible performing group, I am excited to welcome members of the Betty Fairfax High School Vocal Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Christopher Hughes. Earlier this year, the Betty Fairfax High School Vocal Ensemble was selected to perform at the prestigious Arizona Music Educators Association Conference, an honor not achieved by PXU Choral Ensemble in recent memory. Maryville Mariachi performed in 2018, and a symphonic band performed in 2005, but a choir hasn't been selected in at least 50 years, if ever. Please join us in welcoming members of the Betty Fairfax Vocal Ensemble to perform the song Tomorrow for you this evening.
Let the wave wash There will be better days. 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 There will be better days.
So now we're walking up a local celebrity. We are honored to celebrate 3 special recognitions highlighting the outstanding. Oh, wait. I'm excited and honored to recognize the Maryville High School basketball team this evening. For a couple of months, we have been working hard to get them here to receive a special recognition for the team as a whole, and specifically one of their star players, Adrian Stubbs. Earlier this season, Adrian scored 100 points in a single game. This is an incredible accomplishment on its own, but then you add to that he scored all of these points in only 3 quarters. So, and this not only set the record for Arizona high school basketball for most points in a game, but also it came with 2 special recognitions at the state capitol, both by the Senate and the House of Representatives. So this team's story and enthusiasm for the game and seamless camaraderie make them magnetic, and receiving over 100,000 views on our district social media platforms, along with local national media appearances in the days following the 100-point game. The team has made a deep run in the 6A playoffs, and we are so proud of them. Congratulations to Coach Jeremy Smith, player Adrian Stubbs, and the entire Maryville boys basketball team on an incredible season. So join us in celebrating once more. Board members to the dais. Next item is 3A, reports from student government. Tonight, we have student government representatives from Central High, Wilson College Prep, Camelback High, Camelback Montessori, and Cesar Chavez High. Our student government representatives this evening will highlight their schools in this order. So first, we have Chloe Caraveo and Melanie Romo from Central. So. Okay. And afterwards, it will be Isabella Munoz and Ashley Cruz from Wilson College Prep. And then Debbie Baumgarter and Brianda Basosco from Camelback. Then Esther Niandwi and Janelle Armendaris from Camelback Montessori. And then Wyon Shedrick and Gilbert Martinez from Chavez. So thank you. Okay, Chloe and Melanie from Central are starting.
Okay. Good evening, President Pastor Rivera, Governing Board members, and Superintendent Andre. Our names are,
My name is Chloe Caraveo.
my name is Melanie Romo. We are the President and Vice President at Central High School for the year 2025 to 2026. Okay. Central brings a lot of good spirit, which includes our blood drives. We have 4 blood drives per year. As you can see, one of those pictures are from one of our Stugo members getting her blood drawn. They're really fun. They usually last from early morning to like late advisory time. Another thing that we do at our school are assemblies. Our Stugo government, we host these assemblies, and we like to recognize our sports, including football, basketball, swim, golf, badminton, and etc. We also like some of our clubs to perform at these assemblies, which are Zamari, dance, K-pop, marketing, step, and a lot more.
Going on with assemblies and culture days and all of that, we recently celebrated a Hindu day today compared to our face. It's a very loving tradition and celebration that we did today, and it just kind of brought everyone in our community during lunch together. So the way that we like to incorporate cheer, Stugo, and just bring in our sister schools is with our freshman house celebrations and our 8th grade recruitment. In our 8th grade recruitment, you can see us on the golf cart. That's all of the cheer girls dressed as frat boys because we had one of their basketball games. And we just went on, performed for the 8th graders and gave them a tour with Stugo. And we kind of made friendships with these 8th graders, encouraging them to come to Central. And then with our FBLA is, they earned a gold level champion chapter that recognized FBLA nationals for our 4th consecutive year. And they go to state once a year, and they just put on a show and represent Central as a whole.
With our athletic accomplishments, we would like to point out that Edwin Padilla Soto and Jasmine Johnson Jameson qualified for the state wrestling tournament, which Edwin was able to go and place 3rd place in all of Arizona. Along with that, our badminton team also had a really good playoff run this season with a winning streak this school year.
Going along with athletic accomplishments, our Central's boys team, they took home a PXU top boys swim team with Javier Godinez. He has been in swim for 3 years, and he's very well. And then our most accomplishment is our basketball, which is currently in the playoffs, to defend their 5A state title for the second time. And I honestly invite every single one of you guys to go out there tomorrow at 8 at the Coliseum to watch me, cheerleader, and the basketball boys perform. It's a very good game, and we're hoping for it to be really, really good and for us to win. Thank you.
Thank you for your report. Isabella and Ashley from Wilson, can we have you come down?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you to Chloe and Melanie. Our names are Ashley Cruz,
And Isabella Munoz,
and we are the Student Body Vice President
and Student Body President.
of Wilson College Prep High School.
At Wilson, we strive for inclusivity. During the month of November, we distributed paper-shaped feathers where every student filled out the prompt, "I am grateful for," and we created the turkey with it.
We also recently had our school blood drive where we had 17 students and staff donate blood, which for a small school is a pretty big deal. Our school supports student engagement by hosting and participating in a variety of recruitment initiatives and campus events, including assemblies, spirit weeks, and club activities like chess tournaments, for example, which we've noticed helps build community a lot.
Many things show our success at Wilson, such as all seniors getting 100% FAFSA completion, becoming #2 in the district, and this is all thanks to our amazing counselor, Ms. Williams.
Because of the dedication of our students, staff, and student council, we have recently gotten recognition from district for having a council of distinction, and recently as well as becoming an A school, which we're very proud of.
Yes. As an avid white school, all of our students learn valuable skills, especially collaboration highlighted in some of the pictures up there.
We are also very proud to host events that bring our school and other schools as well, since we are pretty small. At our annual pumpkin competition and eighth grade day, visiting middle schools join us on campus and participate in activities like voting in the competition, while also learning what it would be like to attend Wilson College Prep. We also recently held Future Freshman Night, where our avid classes each represented a country and created wicker-based activities based on that culture, which allowed us to share avid-based strategies while also welcoming future students.
And finally, Wilson is at its final stages of becoming a national avid white school. So when we earn our national demonstration school validation from AVID, Wilson will become the center of teaching and learning for AVID. We will partner with AVID. Thank you. We will partner with AVID to model the best practices, host educators, and pilot emerging strategies strengthening educator agencies and student success. This is a year-long process that has taken full commitment from all staff and students, especially staff. Thank you so much for your time. Do you guys have any questions at this time?
Nope. Well, thank you very much,
Thank
everybody.
you so much.
Thank you for your report. Esther and Janelle from, Devi and Brandon from Camelback. Could we please have your report?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Isabella and Ashley. My name is Brianda Basoko.
And I'm Davy Baumgartner.
We are the president and vice president of Camelback High School. So these are some awards and recognizable events that our school has gotten and that has hosted. First off is the Spartan Showcase. We have hosted around 1,000 eighth graders throughout the 4 Spartan Showcases that we have planned. And then we got football region champs 2 times in a year. We received our vocal ensemble received superior rating at NAU, and at Arizona Associates of Student Council, we received Council of Distinction.
Going forward on our campus, a couple notable parts of our school spirit is our social media presence is very consistent, and so it's all student run. So our student council has a student body historian who regulates the class historians, and so they all collaborate with making a very noticeable social media presence, because we know kids are always on their phones, so might as well have what they're looking at be about their school. And then at our assemblies, we usually recognize sports or sometimes royalty if there's a dance. But at our last assembly, we decided to do a staff versus students basketball game, which was really fun and definitely got a lot of students really engaged, got staff engaged. So that was an awesome time. With athletics, we had a great football season, obviously winning region again. And then these pictures are just some examples of what our decorations look like. Camelback has really high standards for going all out and decorating for games, so that's really awesome. And then we carry that spirit all the way through every season. And then same with lunchtime, we really utilize that time to build community and have fun. So when we have our spirit weeks, every day of the spirit week will be a lunchtime activity. And so sometimes that's hula hoop contests or pudding eating contests. It can all be just really fun things. And then we also have a lot of really unique leadership opportunities at Camelback. So one I wanted to point out is our Spartan Town program. So we have a program where kids are nominated by teachers and they go to camp, at a camp for 3 days, I think, and there's opportunities to be a student leader. So I was a student leader this year, and you just engage in kind of activities that are just helping you to find out who you are and engage in being a better community member. And it's just so awesome to see kids you usually wouldn't see in that leadership position, stepping into that light and using their voice.
Camelback hosted Spirit Conference on August 26, 2025, and there were around 23 schools. There's a little typo right there. We had guest speakers, and there was around 700 participants. We were one out of the 6 conferences, and we received students from all across Arizona to come to our high school to learn on how to uplift their spirit and how to become better leaders.
Yeah, so then later in the year, we hosted basically the same conference, but just for PXU, which is really notable. To be doing those 2 things in the same year is kind of crazy. It was really fun to experience and be present through that and just see that process. And so on February 20th, 2026, we hosted Phoenix Union District SUGO Conference, and we had about 17 schools from across the district come. We had a guest speaker, Calvin Terrell, who had a conversation about making an impact, and he opened up a space for kids to have their voice here, but also learn how to celebrate hearing different voices. So there was a lot of clapping, but also quiet moments. It was really well organized. Then also, so before that, we had a student idea share where they broke out into 2 parts. And so students were given a prompt. So tell us about school spirit. And then they went and talked about what they did at their school. And then one kid would come up and they would share I'm from this group, and we thought that this was a great idea, so that they're hearing ideas from their group and then also the whole group. We had, again, about 700 participants, and our theme was childhood nostalgia, and I was really proud of our council and also the participants from other councils and how purposeful they made the theme. It's often, the theme is just something to dress up as, but I felt that theme of connecting back to that little kid that lives inside each of us and bringing that forth in our leadership was really evident within this conference, and I was really proud of that.
Students from Camelback High School had a walkout on Wednesday, January 28th, that was entirely student-led. I want to clarify that this walkout was not a spontaneous spur of the moment, but rather it was an organized, peaceful protest. Students took extensive measures so that peers could understand the importance of being respectful and of prioritizing safety. Camelback students are a great example of how a supportive environment can create a community of brave individuals.
And then finally, we usually like to leave you guys with a request, but when we were talking about what we want to ask, we kind of decided that this year we just want to reflect. So taking you back 2 years ago, we were like, hey, we want cashless payments. Like, we really think that would impact our campus. Then last year, we piloted that program. And so just a little show of the good that that's done on our campus. So every single year, the sophomores and student council's job is to raise money. So our class 2026 raised $4,000. 2027, $5,000, and now 2028 with TAP has raised $11,000 and are continuing to grow. And so, yeah, the growth is undeniable, and it's been so helpful not only for that like sophomore-based fundraising, but for fundraising events like SoCA Senior, Staff for Student Games, and also selling concessions and merchandise. So this last week we did SoCA Senior, and we've been doing it for 3 years that I've been in council. And my first year, like when class 2024 was seniors, they would raise about $400, $450 in a week, so in 5 days. We just did it for 4 days, and we raised $900, right? So that's almost double. So thank you guys for getting that implemented in our schools, and it's making a big impact on what we can get from our community, and so that we can give back in bigger ways.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Can I, Board Member Meyer? Clerk Meyer?
Yes?
Thank you for that follow-up. Seeing the data and how you collected and presented, that was really impactful. I'm really glad that y'all were able to benefit from that process change. And I just want to commend y'all on planning and organizing the walkout. I think it's really important that our students understand that these are unusual and unprecedented times. And I think it's really powerful that students are able to collaborate, organize, and make sure that we, the community, and especially the board, understand what you're feeling and what the impact is on your day-to-day lives. So thank you for that, and let us know if there's anything else that we can provide for you. And yeah, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Esther, Wyon and Gil. Did I miss that? Oh, it's Camelback again. Okay, so Esther and Janelle from Camelback Montessori, please come to the dais.
Thank you, Davy and Brianda. Our names are Janelle.
Esther Nyandwi.
And I am the Montessori Senior Class Representative.
And I am Montessori Club Vice President. Good evening, members of the board and Phoenix Union community. We are Camelback Montessori High School, which is a micro school within Camelback. We have about 180 students out of 2,000, making up about 9% of Camelback. A big part of Montessori is learning through the head, hands, and heart to honor their whole person.
Starting with the head, our class of 2025 has had tremendous success with their college path, with 76% of our first-generation students getting into their college, and half of our scholarships coming from Camelback. They earned $7.7 million in scholarships. 32% enrolled in out-of-state schools, and a third of our students got their full tuition covered, with 91% enrolled into the four-year college. As for the class of 2026, 25 has left us a standard for us for our options in the future, with 44% of our already got accepted to out-of-state college. For example, 3 of our Montessori students got accepted to Washington University of St. Louis.
Learning of the hands refers to getting learning outside of the classroom. One experience that all students engage in, called Erdkinder, translates to Earthchild. These are nature-based experiences and allow for leadership, physical challenges, and reflection to build a stronger community. This year, sophomores went camping for 2 nights at Woods Canyon Lake in Payson in tents. They went fishing, cooked, and did seminars under the stars. As a junior, I experienced a 3-hour kayaking trip down Verde River to connect our semester theme, The Ripple Effect, which makes us think about how one small ripple can make a big impact, whether it's small, kind gestures like saying hi or saving a life. We saw how ripples in Verde River makes a great impact on drinking water and economy.
The heart represents our community events, one of them being Service Week. 90 of our 9th and 10th graders participated in Service Week on and off campus, but our students learned that you don't just have to stop providing to our community off campus. Our freshmen interviewed classified staff at our campus acknowledging their work, and they made gifts as a thank you. In total, our 9th and 10th graders engaged 500 hours of service.
Another example of heart in building community was rethinking the freshman experience. This all started with the freshman mother sharing that she was worried about where her child would eat lunch the first day. That led Montessori Club officers to think, why not create an experience every day so students don't have to wander and where they can go to belong? From popcorn and pop quiz to an ice cream social mixer, we started building community from week 1, building up to a lock-in led by juniors and seniors. Freshmen left getting letters of encouragement from our seniors.
One of our goals for initiative was to ensure that there is always a next generation of leaders, and that is what is Advanced Leadership Cadre. I'm a part of Leadership Cadre, and it is to ensure our torch of leaders get passed down to the next generation. It is a big part of our recruitment. At the beginning of the year, I spoke at Alhambra School District High School Fair, and I spoke to 500 students about Montessori, which now has a wait list for the next upcoming school year.
A big part of Advanced Leadership Cadre has been hosting middle school leadership days, known as Congress Days. We hosted 5th and 8th graders from Creighton District as well as Superintendent J. Mann and board members for 2 years in a row in a half-day experience. Our entire student-run Leadership Cadre provides workshops for middle schoolers to give a feel of high school. Topics include how GPA opens doors, being involved in clubs, and finding your leadership style. We have also hosted all 8th graders at Villa Montessori.
Another initiative is having an online system for our students for their volunteer hours called Track It Forward. It is a more authentic way to get verification for volunteer work that we do, as well as it organizes and encourages us to keep volunteering.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for your report. Up next, we have Wyon and Gilbert from Chavez.
Thank you, Esther and Janelle. Our names are Gilbert Martinez.
And Wyon Shedrick.
And we are the student body representative
and student body president
of Cesar Chavez High School. Starting with our academic achievements, our arts program, Senior Morgan Costa was accepted into Case Western Reserve University through a prestigious Posse virtual program. In our AVID program, $2 million scholars, each accepted to 20+ schools, but both attend to ASU Barrett Honors College in engineering and in business.
Chavez is one of only 2 schools in Arizona that offers a 3DE program along with Alhambra. This program gives students real-world business experience by partnering with companies like Arby's and Scooptacular. Throughout the year, students completed multiple case challenges and presented their business solutions to professional judges. 3D allows students to practice problem solving, teamwork, and presentation skills in real-world simulations.
Moving on to our sports, in the fall, our girls and boys cross country and badminton both won regional championships. Senior Amari Bell was signed to Colorado State for football, as well as Mayan Oxoro was signed to Florida State for track. All of our winter sports made it to postseason play, as well as our girls basketball team winning back-to-back regional championship titles.
Our cheer program has had an incredible year. Over 130 youth and high school students participated in the Future Champion Cheer Camp, and 50 girls performed at an Arizona Cardinals NFL game. The Cardinals cheerleaders even held their first ever high school pep rally at Chavez after we sold the most tickets to a Cardinals game. And to top off these incredible achievements, the team placed second at the USA Regional Championship.
Congratulations to our state champion. Congratulations to our state championship at weighing at 144 pounds, Nicholas Meza in wrestling.
Our academic programs are also achieving major success. Academic decathlon placed second in the region and has been in the top 2 for the past 10 years. In moot court, Chavez students competed through the Marshall Brennan Constitutional Literacy Project and won both first and second place in the state. Because of that, these students will represent Arizona at the national competition.
Our choir competed at NAU's Jazz Festival and received an excellent rating. Our JROTC won the 2025 Adventure Team Championship.
And finally, Chavez's student government, which consists of over 85 student leaders, continues its 12-year streak at an Outstanding Council of Distinction awarded by the Arizona Association of Student Councils. Student government's leadership extends well beyond campus through community partnerships like Special Olympics and Champion Cheers, which engaged over 400 total student leaders and elementary kids.
At this time, we would like to thank the governing board for giving us the opportunity to directly report about the successes and activities that are afforded to our students of our schools, as well as to present the status of our plans to help our schools with their issues and concerns moving forward. Thank you all, and have a good evening.
Thank you all for your report. And I just wanted to lift up, and if anyone else has any other comments for the general students that have spoken today, that I really like when students have that problem-solving perspective and they share that with us. Like, for example, Camelback brought up that last year they had to pay with cash for a lot of their events or all their events. And they brought that up as a concern, and since then the district worked to get them a cashless system, so now they can accept card and all those methods. So it was really cool to hear that recognized last year, and then like now a year later report back of like, oh, your idea, like, and bringing that concern to us, like, did impact your time at school. So I love when students bring up a concern, especially if they have suggestions of like, well, we could see it being improved this way. So I'm really thankful, and I love all our student speakers. Does anyone else have any other comments?
Yeah, I just want to let every Stugo member know that your leadership skills are being honed every day, and they will serve you well one day. And maybe you can just go forth and make sure that our Phoenix Union make us proud, because you are doing amazing things, and the courage it took for you to stand up before the board and, give us your ideas and your perspectives and your ask. We really appreciate it because you all are the reason we're here. So thank you for all you do.
Yes, I'd like to thank all the Stugo kids. You all do great jobs leading your fellow students on campus. We love hearing about your successes. I used to sit out in the crowd for a year and listen to them. A lot of students used to complain about the food. So I haven't heard that lately, and I know there's a lot of food tasting going on out there. So hopefully next round we'll hear about whether the food's getting better or if we still need to work on it, okay?
Thank you. Now, the next item on our agenda is 3B, reports from employee organizations. Our representatives reporting tonight are Mr. Esteban Flemings, CTA President, followed by Ms. Anastasia Jimenez, CEA President, and then Ms. Vanessa Castillas, ADA President.
All right. Good evening, Governing Board. Sitting President Mir for the evening, Superintendent Andrade, community staff here and virtually. My name is Esteban Flemings. I stand before you as the proud CTA President representing our certified staff here. It's been an interesting month since we were last here. And I think it's for the better. What I will simply say is that former board member Cota made his decision to leave the position after rightly being asked to explain his actions. Something that I think we all need to be held accountable for, no matter what we do. If asked about them, we should be able to explain those. I hope that as we move forward, and whoever is watching online, that if we look to fill that seat by an appointment, we choose someone who matches the Phoenix Union goals and has an understanding and listens to this committee as we move forward. With that said, I would like to say some of the great things that the district has done. I'd like to extend my appreciation to the Talent Division for allowing CTA and CEA to be at our job fair last Saturday as we welcome new people to the PXU family. We had a few signups, a few transfers from other districts, some people who were leaving charter schools and just like, thank goodness there's something here that makes some more sense. I also would like to thank the foundation for their lovely Poofy fundraiser out at the ranch. Always lovely to watch Amy Remfrey win again for one of the heads or tails games. If you haven't seen it before, every year she's the winner of that some way, somehow. Yeah, I think just looking how quickly time flies, we really have 2-3 board meetings left until we, or 2 meetings left before we send to the class of 2026 off to be adults and contributing members of society. And I, for one, am ready for spring break in another day. So with that said, CTA wants to continue to recognize a member who their peers want to share their story about. Unfortunately, my person can't be here tonight, but I'm going to recognize Daniel Penna, who's a math teacher at Central. The nominator spoke of how much Daniel helped this year with the girls' badminton team. Quote, Mr. Penna has dedicated countless hours to supporting the girls' badminton team this year, and his contributions have been truly invaluable. With a team of more than 20 athletes, his volunteer coaching has made it possible for every player to get the attention and guidance they deserve. Mr. Penn has shown incredible willingness to learn the sport in order to better support our students, and his commitment to their growth and success has made a lasting impact. Both the team, I, and the girls are grateful for his time, energy, and unwavering support. So even though Daniel's not here tonight, we will be giving him his CTA props. Tomorrow I'll run over and hopefully find him in his classroom. So with that, if we get a quick round of applause for Mr. Pena, even though he's not here, for the March CTA props recipient. So tonight's a quick report. So as I close, I know that several of you are holding a ward seat that will be up for election in the 2026 part. And if you decide on running again, we welcome you. Please reach out to your board member. We are going to be working with, for your CTA board meeting, because we'll be working with AEA, and there's some board trainings and there's some other opportunities that we'd really like you to all get involved with. Because if you've been watching The Legislator, there are a lot of things that are going on that are stressful for public education, and we're going to need to all be on the same page, moving in the same direction to stop some of these wonky bills that are going through. So with that said, thank you all for your support. And again, if you ever have any questions, please reach out and have a wonderful evening. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Is this supposed to happen? Here we go, sorry. Okay, good evening, everyone. Phoenix Union community, educators and allies, Superintendent Andrade, President Pastor Rivera, if he's watching online, and esteemed governing board members. Thank you for your continued dedication to this district, its students, and its constituents. To the educators joining us in person or virtually, thank you. I know your time is valuable, and if you're here, it's because you care deeply. It takes courage to do the work we do every day, often within systems that don't always feel built with us in mind. Yet you continue to show up and challenge barriers and lead with heart. Your grit and strength during these uncertain times do not go unnoticed. Sorry, I feel like it's a little, can you guys hear me okay? This is awkward. February brought a number of challenges in the ESP world. Nothing entirely new, but certainly amplified. In many ways, it felt like a marathon. Between finalizing classified placements, preparing contracts for the next school year, supporting our recent job fair, and navigating changes in policies, practice, workloads, and even the colleagues we work alongside. It has been an intense month. I haven't reviewed the data yet, but I am curious whether we've seen an increase in LOAs. Given the strain of ongoing budget cuts, it wouldn't be surprising. For those experiencing difficulties, please remember that resources exist, and your association is here to support you. We are always willing to assist and guide members and employees in a collaborative, solutions-oriented way. Progress requires voice, so please reach out. Silence only delays the resolutions our staff deserve. Speaking of the job fair, I want to extend a special thank you to our talent, tech, custodial, and maintenance teams and all ESPs involved in executing such a successful event. And thank you to Central for hosting us once again. I also wanted to highlight the educators involved in the IBN process and our subcommittees. Your work is not always visible until an MOA reaches this board, but please know that it matters. I've genuinely enjoyed IBN this year because of the wide range of perspectives and meaningful, lively discussions. We challenge one another at times, but ultimately the CEA team leaves these meetings feeling respected, recognized, and heard. I appreciate every member and every association leader for engaging in hard, sometimes uncomfortable decisions and conversations in good faith. Thank you as well to the talent team for the logistics and facilitation of our meetings, and a special shout out to our talent directors who were instrumental in developing MOAs that directly impact our ESPs for years to come. We look forward to presenting additional MOAs to the board next month. And in closing, and in honor of the upcoming holiday, I'll leave you with this quote. Once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. You cannot uneducate the person who has learned to read. You cannot humiliate the person who feels pride. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. That was from Cesar Chavez. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I always got to bring it way down. Good evening, Superintendent Andrade, Clerk Meyer, and esteemed members of the Governing Board. As we close out the third quarter, many across our districts are looking ahead to spring break as a time to rest, recharge, and prepare for the final quarter of the school year. Students, staff, and families have been working hard, and this pause gives everyone an opportunity to return refreshed and return to finish the year strong. I would also like to acknowledge that March is Women's History Month, a time to recognize and celebrate the contributions of women who have helped shape our communities, our schools, and our society. We appreciate the many women across Phoenix Union who support, teach, lead, and inspire students every day. I would also like to congratulate several of our athletic teams for their outstanding accomplishments this season. Congratulations to Hayden Boys Basketball and North Girls Basketball for making it to the Final Four. Congratulations as well to the Fairfax Boys Soccer, who made it to the championship. And we want to recognize Central Boys Basketball, who also made it to the championship and will be playing tomorrow night. We wish them the very best of luck. I would also like to respectfully acknowledge that many of our administrators across the district are still awaiting the results of interviews that took place several weeks ago. These decisions carry significant importance as they affect professional future and personal livelihoods. There is a great deal of anticipation, and we hope that communication regarding these outcomes will be shared soon so individuals can move forward with clarity. As we head into spring break, we hope everyone across the Phoenix Union community has a safe, restful, and restorative week. We look forward to returning steady to finish the fourth quarter strong with our students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Vanessa Castillas. That concludes our reports from employee organizations. Up next is our agenda item, call to the public, 4A. And the tech team.
According to ARS, According to ARS 38-431.01H, at the conclusion of the call to the public, members of the public body may respond to criticism made by those who address the public body, may ask the staff to review a matter, or may ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. However, members may not discuss or take legal action on matters raised during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. We would like to caution members of the audience about commenting on a particular individual and thank you for not referring to any person by name. In order to avoid any concerns with interpretation services, please be aware of the following. We have a Spanish interpreter available to join you at the podium while you address the governing board. Only the PXU assigned interpreter will provide interpretation services. If you have a script, on paper or on a device, we ask that you make it available for the interpreter. In order to provide accurate interpreting, we ask that you speak for approximately 2 to 3 sentences at a time and pause for interpreting. You will be given double the amount of time to address the governing board as a result. As usual, we ask that you end your comments when your official time allotment has ended.
Para evitar dificultades con los servicios de intérprete, tenga en cuenta lo siguiente. Tenemos un intérprete de español disponible para acompañarlo mientras se dirige a la mesa directiva. Solo el intérprete asignado por el distrito proveerá servicios de interpretación. Si tiene su mensaje en papel o electrónicamente, le pedimos que lo ponga a disposición del intérprete. Para brindar una interpretación precisa, le pedimos que hable aproximadamente de 2 a 3 oraciones a la vez y haga una pausa para el intérprete. Como resultado, se le dará el doble del tiempo para dirigirse a la mesa directiva. Como de costumbre, le pedimos que finalice sus comentarios cuando termine su tiempo asignado. Gracias por su cooperación.
Presentations tonight are limited to a maximum of 2 minutes. Tonight we have the option for members of the public to participate in person and virtually. We will start with our speakers who are registered online. Tonight we're going to start with Prapil Niduram. Please state your name, indicate the agenda item or topic you wish to speak on, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Prapil.
Okay. Good evening, Clerk Meyer, Superintendent Andrade, and board members and leadership. My name is Praful Nidram, a proud Phoenix Union psychologist and a resident. Tonight, I want to speak about few acts of courage and unity I have witnessed in our community over the past few months. That is, speaking up, showing up, and standing up. Recently, Phoenix Union has faced challenges. Some loud, some uncomfortable, some unfair. When misinformation about our school safety and discipline was spreading, we spoke up, especially our CTA and CEA leaders and members, to state clearly, at PXU, we believe in compassion before expulsions and exclusions. When our policies and practices, including land acknowledgement, were being attacked, we showed up, especially members of our Native American community, to remind us who we are and what we stand for. And more recently, when fear and uncertainty impacted our students, families, and community, we stood up through advocacy, communication, reassurance from this board's leadership to say, we are here and we will stand with you. Our students deserve adults who speak up, they deserve leaders who show up, and they deserve a system that stands up for them every single day. When I first heard the phrase stronger together, I did not fully understand it. But today I can say with pride, it is not just a slogan. It is what happens when leadership leads with inclusion, when unions stay strong, and when a district refuses to be divided. That is Phoenix Union, and yes, we are stronger together. Thank you, Superintendent Andrade and this board for this opportunity. And I feel blessed to be part of this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next speaker online is Natalie Mendez Hernandez. Please state your name, indicate the agenda item or topic you wish to speak about, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes. You can come off mute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Natalie.
Good evening, governing board members. My name is Natalie Mendez Hernandez, and I am a student at Bioscience High School. Though I couldn't be there in person, there are students in the audience now advocating for the topic that I would like to address. Today, I am speaking in support of adopting the PXU Climate Action Resolution for the Phoenix Union High School District. I'm here today because climate action is not just an environmental issue. It is a public health and equity issue. Our district serves one of the most diverse and economically challenged student populations in Arizona. Approximately 86% of Phoenix Union students qualify for free and reduced price lunch, meaning the majority of students in this district come from low-income households. And based on data from the PXU website, students from historically marginalized or underserved communities make up at least 90% of our district. Climate change does not affect everyone equally. Communities of color and low-income communities, like many in this district, face the greatest risks from extreme heat, pollution, and rising energy costs. This is why climate action is also a social justice issue. By adopting this resolution, Phoenix Union can commit to not only education, but protecting the health, opportunities, and future of its students. In some parts of Phoenix, neighborhoods can be 10 to 15 degrees hotter than others because they have fewer trees and more pavement, but these differences are not random. This is due to decades of unequal investment in housing infrastructure and environmental protection, which left many low-income communities with fewer resources to handle extreme heat. Climate change is about protecting the environment and the people. And by adopting this resolution, Phoenix Union can lead in protecting the health, opportunities, and future of its students. As students who will live with the consequences of climate decisions made today, we are asking you to support this resolution. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to Phoenix Union students.
Thank you, Natalie. It looks like Timothy Iceman Stone is next online. Is Timothy or
Who's
Rebecca?
Timothy?
Timothy, go ahead.
Hello.
You have 2 minutes. Please state your name and agenda item or topic you wish to speak about, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes.
All right, can you hear and see me okay?
Yes, go ahead, Tim.
All right. Good evening and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Tim and I am a proud PXU nurse serving the awesome students and staff of Bostrom High School. I will be addressing item 9P tonight. I want to begin by thanking the IBN committee for their hard work and thoughtful advocacy on behalf of district nurses. Their efforts helped bring about the $3,000 RN licensure stipend for the 25-26 school year, and their continued work towards pay equity for nurses is deeply appreciated. I'm here tonight to respectfully ask that the district continue the $3,000 RN licensure stipend for the 26-27 school year. Maintaining this stipend benefits both nurses and the district. It helps Phoenix Union attract and retain highly qualified registered nurses, reduces reliance on costly agency staffing, and supports continuity of care for our students. School nursing is far more complex than many people realize. In the course of a single shift, a school nurse may perform life-saving resuscitation, complex health assessments, case management, health education, psychiatric nursing, and aspects of emergency and maternal health care, and much more, while building trust and forming positive relationships with their entire school communities. The assessment and clinical judgment skills of registered nurses are unique and essential in school settings where we often practice independently. The students of Phoenix Union deserve to be cared for by highly trained nursing professionals who feel valued and respected in their roles. I would also especially in the context of frozen step increases and the loss of the retention bonus, continuing the $3,000 RN licensure stipend is a meaningful way to support and retain the nurses who care for our students every day. I would also encourage the district to consider additional compensation for nurses who hold National School Nurse Certification, which represents the highest level of expertise in our specialty. Supporting school nurses is not just an investment in staff, it's an investment in the health, safety, and
Thank you, Tim. Our next speaker online is Rebecca Scott. Please state your name, indicate the agenda item or topic you wish to speak about, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes. And please press pound 06 on your phone to unmute. Rebecca,
Perfect.
go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca, and I am a former PXU employee, or apologize, the agenda item, I don't have an agenda item. I'm just calling about a general concern about the community. So my name is Rebecca, and I'm a former PXU employee who now works in the Creighton School District. I am speaking tonight about a brief but disappointing interaction I witnessed at a district event. Recently, I was lucky enough to be able to attend the Taste of Soul event held at Linda Abril. As I stood in line waiting to pay for my entry ticket, there was a bit of a hiccup with payment. The event had just begun, so the worker volunteer did not have exact change for cash. As a little group of us congregated waiting for assistance, a man jumped to the front of the line and asked how much a ticket was. The volunteer told him how much it was and that she didn't have change. Rather than wait for the electronic payment info like the rest of us had, he tossed some cash at her and bluntly told her, "You owe me $10," and then walked off into the event. I was appalled and disgusted at how openly and blatantly this man belittled the woman selling tickets, and it stayed in my mind as I went in and sat down. Imagine my horror when that man later took the stage and introduced himself as the principal of the very school hosting that event. I was absolutely repulsed by what felt like such a misogynistic dismissal of a woman simply doing her job, perhaps because he feels his position exempts him from treating those in inferior positions with respect. I hate to jump to any conclusions about anyone, but I can only judge based off of the brief impression I caught, and it was unbecoming of a person holding a leadership position, much less one in a district where jobs are highly sought after and fewer by the year. I do want to say a huge thank you to those at district who have responded promptly to my concern in this situation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rebecca. Next up, we'll move to in-person public comment. Our first speaker tonight is Dana Juarez. Go to the podium. Yeah. And please state your name, then indicate the agenda item or topic you wish to speak about, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes.
Okay. Good morning, members of the board. My name is Dana Juarez, and I'm a student representing Wilson College Prep. Before I begin, I would like to take a moment to say thank you all for allowing me to speak tonight. I'm here to express my support for the climate action resolution. While voting on this resolution will not solve every environmental challenge our district faces, it represents a crucial step forward. By supporting it, the district is acknowledging the importance of sustainability and committing to begin the work towards a meaningful solution. This resolution helps set the direction for our district, encouraging efforts like improving energy efficiency, exploring renewable energy, and preparing our schools for the environmental challenges that our community may face in the future. For students like me, this vote is more than just a policy. It is about taking responsibility today so that our school and community can have a healthier, more sustainable future. I hope you will support this resolution and take this important first step forward to make an impact. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jenna. Next up, we have Joe Wilson, followed by Ray Martinez. Mr. Wilson, go to the podium. Yeah, and then please state your name, indicate the agenda item you wish to, topic you wish to speak about, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes.
Okay, my name is Joe Wilson, and this is, I'll be speaking about the Unstoppable Wrestling Incorporation, and this pertains to the Alhambra High School, where we do, we're involved with baseball, basketball, the wrestling program, and the Boosters Club. So I've got the pamphlet, which you guys will all get, and then I'm gonna turn my time over to Ray. And thank you very much. This is my first time, so I'm a little nervous. So thank you very much.
Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, thank you.
So just to make clear, each speaker has 2 minutes. You cannot cede your time to each other. So, okay.
Please state your name, indicate the agenda item or topic you wish to speak about, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes.
Clerk Meyer, Superintendent Andrade, board members. My name is Ray Martinez. I'm involved with Joe. We attended North High School together many years ago. We're now volunteers at Alhambra High School. And currently I'm helping him with the wrestling team. We have a new wrestling coach 2 years ago, Chris Chacon. who was the last state champion that Alhambra had in 1990. We're turning that program around, and I want to share news that we have an exciting young female wrestler. Her name is Libby Montez, and she took third at state this year. She's a sophomore, and we expect her to be a state champion by next year. She's extremely talented. We come here today because there's a program, USA Wrestling, that's affiliated with Anthony Robles, which I'm sure that you guys know Anthony Robles, and he's been willing to bring that program to our neighborhood, and where we can get help in creating summer wrestling for our kids, to help them to improve their skill set so that our program can expand and be more successful. And so we were kind of told, or the information is that we had to bring it before the board. But I believe that that program would really help the Phoenix Union High School District, not just Alhambra, but other schools. And so we bring the documentation about the program to you guys. And of course, we hope that you guys will support. And again, we're volunteers with the Booster Club. And I even have a food handler card, so I help with the snack bar and all that stuff. So we're just here for positive stuff. So that's.
Thank you so much, Mr. Martinez, Mr. Wilson. Our last speaker of tonight is Mr. Fernando Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez, please state your name, indicate the agenda item or topic you wish to speak about, and limit your presentation to 2 minutes.
All right. You guys know my name. Welcome back. Superintendent Andrade, my students told me that you came by for a visit to my classroom a few weeks back ago. Sorry I couldn't be there, but how you like them hallways? Yes, they are the best. But in all seriousness, I do want to come up here today, and I want to thank the board for the listening sessions, because it provided our department the space to speak about concerns that have become very heavy burdens on our backs. I'm incredibly proud of my colleagues. These women demonstrated their fearlessness and speaking truth to power on matters that most impact our students and our professionalism. I applaud them for their words and courage. Everyone deserves to be heard, valued, and safe at work. We use language to shed light on our environments with hope for change. But Superintendent Andrade, change can't happen without your involvement. I need you, we need you. The time for denial is over. What was said can't be unsaid. Boundaries have been crossed, needs have been neglected, and communication has been absent. We need you to aid in mediating and creating lines of communication. Listen to the voices of our ELD department to build relationships rather than continuing to lead through assumptions. The department needs a path of communication. Please get involved, support your teachers. I am one of your teachers, and I'm asking you to step up to the challenge and create change. We have already spoken up. We need you to do something now. Our department needs allies. Please believe the women that spoke at the listening sessions. Thank you.
Yeah, Clerk Meyer, Superintendent Andrade, can we look into the wrestling program at Alhambra High School and report back, and then look into the comments regarding South Mountain as well?
I second that. I second that. I know Chacon and Coach Chacon, and also of Anthony Robles. I only wish I knew him, but I think this would be a wonderful opportunity for our students. We need to look into it.
Thank you. Definitely would like to know more about USA Wrestling Program for our wrestling scholars this summer. Would also like a report back and look into retaining the RN licensure. Report back to the board. And I'd like to learn a little bit more about the interaction at the Taste of Soul event. And then also, I'd like to learn more about what our last public speaker mentioned at the listening session.
Clerk Meyer and Superintendent Andrade. I do believe that you did have representatives at both our listening sessions, and there were several different issues that Mr. Sanchez and the group brought up that we need to take a look into. So if you could just make sure that you report back to us on how those things are happening. I did notice that there were several administrative people there taking notes. So.
Okay, any other requests for regarding public comment? Okay, then that concludes our section for public comment. We will take a 10-minute break, sound good? A 10-minute break. Yes, okay, so adjourned. Well, briefly. Board members, please return to your seats. Board members, please return to your seats. Okay, thank you, everyone. We are now resuming our meeting. A meeting is called to order. Okay. Is there, moving on to the item 5A, approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Pull.
Second.
Pull.
Okay, so which item would you like to pull?
Wait.
And then,
I think she's doing something.
She's pulling.
Okay, I'm pulling M.
M?
Yes. Let's see.
9M?
9M, thank you.
Okay, so pulling 9M. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the exclusion of 9M?
So moved.
Second.
A motion has been made by Member Oliver, seconded by Member Cross. Is discussion?
No discussion on
Okay.
consent agenda.
Consent agenda, yeah. Okay, so those in favor of, okay. On the motion, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries, yeah.
Clerk Meyer,
Yes?
can I make a motion to move item 12?
We're on 9M right
Oh,
now.
we're still
Yeah,
on
we'll
9M.
be moving to 9M, and then we can continue that. Okay, so going down to 9M, which is approval of the revised JROTC job descriptions. Board Member Cross.
Okay, so I would like to pull M and make a motion to move pending the change of the description, which says that you need a secondary certification, to read the ADE JROTC certification. Okay?
Can you explain a little bit more for context?
Okay, so the secondary certification is, I had to go back to a year worth of school and pay a lot of money to get my secondary certification. JROTC certification, as I was told, once a, am I all right with this?
You can explain you're explaining your motion. So we'll let it go. Yes.
Okay, so the JROTC certification requires a principal saying they'd like to hire this person. They write that letter to the ADE, and our HR checks out all the other requirements, and then all that has to happen is that the ADA gives them a JROTC cert, which is a lot easier than getting the other one.
So
Does
your
that make
motion,
sense?
so your motion is to change the job description to substitute the secondary certification for the ADA.
To
To
eliminate the secondary, to delete the secondary certification, gone.
Just period.
And ADE JROTC certification only at the end.
Okay.
Wait, we got a question over there.
Yes. I want to say President, but Clerk Meyer and Member Cross, might I suggest that we offer both avenues to our constituents that are applying for this position? So it could say possesses a current Arizona secondary teaching certificate or an ADE JROTC certificate. So
The OR is not available. From what I heard, they have to get that JROTC ADE certification, and the
Okay.
other one's not needed at all. And it's horrendous to go through to get, I know, because I had to do it. Okay, so it makes it much nicer for those gentlemen.
So under the proposal by Superintendent Andrade, you could get either. So just you will not, okay. So the motion is to remove the secondary in its entirety. So we need a second before we discuss
Before
further.
discussion?
Second for
Can I
further.
Before we
clarify
discuss?
The motion?
I'd love to know, sure, but also maybe if we got a second, then we can have more discussion about it, so we could see if it's even going to go anywhere.
Right, just so we're all looking at the same thing, there's 5 job descriptions under item.
M,
All-
9M?
9M? So
all 5 of them.
All 5 have that language?
Right, and HR has researched this. This is, I had it researched before I pulled it out.
Got it.
So we're looking at possess a current Arizona secondary teaching certificate? Is that the one?
That's pulled out, right.
Okay.
And then an ADE-JROTC certification.
I'll
Replace-
second so that we can
replace-
legally have discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we can discuss legally.
So it literally had HR research it and called me on it, because I questioned it when I saw the secondary certification, because I know what that requires. Okay.
So is everyone clear on what the motion is? It would modify all of the job descriptions under 9M to remove that secondary certification requirement.
You know what, is Mr. Silva in the room?
Yes. He's there.
Okay, did the first one, the very, very first one of them, did that one require the secondary cert? I can't remember, because that one requires a bachelor's degree.
Clerk Meyer, if I could ask what, before all of this, is what is the reason, the reasoning for requiring the secondary teaching certificate?
Someone just put it in there.
Clerk Meyer, Superintendent Andrade, governing board members. So ROTC job descriptions are very complex. Specifically that for an ROTC instructor, minimum of 10 years, retired officer, or an non-commissioned NCO. If they're an NCO, they have to have a bachelor's degree. Department of Education requires the JROTC certification 912. That takes place of the teaching certification. So when we look at a teacher certification, they get their certification broad, 912, 712, K8, that covers just the knowledge piece. If they're a math teacher, they have to get their endorsement. That gets added to it. Okay. So with the ROTC, they have to meet the specific requirements of the military. And then when, as Board Member Cross was talking and stating, once the principal makes the recommendation, the senior instructor, LTC Sandberg, will then come in and verify that. We'll verify the offer, letter of intent. Letter of intent then moves down to the Department of Education. Department of Education, with our letter confirming that we're going to bring them on as a hire, then they'll get that ADE JROTC certification. Now, that's required for all the job descriptions. They have to have that.
And the state does not require a secondary certification.
The state does not have it on the secondary certification piece.
Clerk Meyer, I have a question. Can we do required and preferred? Are we allowed to do that? So I would propose, Ms. Cross, our Board Member Cross, that we don't make it a requirement, make it a preferred, so that we can get candidates with more of what we need. So if we have 2 candidates, let me help you with the required or prefer. If we have 2 candidates and everybody meets the minimum qualifications, which are the required, but then we have a candidate that has the certification you want to remove, that gives them more credibility in the job. And so if they went ahead and went and got that, then that's more experience. We always want people with as much experience and as much certification as we can, but we can make it preferred instead of required.
Okay, I like the word preferred, but we do need to add ADE JROTC certification, because that is not even in here.
Okay.
Okay.
So
But I'd
then
like
That
to
is
remove
So do
the
you amend
motion
your motion to, do you amend
preferred.
your motion for the preferred?
To preferred and add the ADE JROTC certification.
Okay, Clerk Meyer, do you approve the amendment?
Yes.
You're the second, okay.
Madam Chair, Mr. Silvas, why did we list the secondary certificate as a requirement?
Clerk Napa, Clerk Meyer. Board Member Marquez, when we initially were doing the review of the job descriptions, these job descriptions, the original ones were older, and we had to bring them up to date. And so the original job descriptions had, with consulting our LTC Sandberg, it had it in there as well. Now, the ADE, it changes every year. We're constantly having to monitor the change. Ultimately, Cadet Command will drive very specific on how we place and the requirements, and it does vary from state to state, because in Cadet Command, they'll come through and they'll say it's going to adhere to the state regulations, okay, the Department of Ed. So with that part about it coming together as secondary, but the preferred, but it has to have the ADE mandatory with the JROTC 912 certification on there.
Got it. Thank you.
So then, can you restate the motion just for clarity?
Oh
before
my gosh.
voting? I mean, or I could try to restate it.
I think the motion is to remove, to make the secondary certification a preference,
Preferred.
but, and not a requirement, and to add an ADE JROTC certification. There we go. Thank you for the prompts there. And that would be required. So the secondary certification is preferred. The ADE JROTC certification would be required.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Silva. Appreciate your clarity.
Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
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 I myself am an aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, can we move item 12B ahead of the superintendent's report? And I'll make a motion to do that. Do I need a motion?
So motion to move up item 12,
B.
B, adoption of the Phoenix Union Climate Action Resolution has been made by Representative Marquez. Is there a second?
I second.
Member Napa seconds. So take a vote. All in favor,
Aye.
please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We are now moving on to item 12B, adoption of the Phoenix Union Climate Action Resolution.
Clerk Meyer, members of the board, I just want to introduce that really for almost a year now, I had to look back because I was trying to figure out how long. In April, it'll be a year. We have been coming together regularly, and I want to call out board member Napa, Clerk Meyer, President Pastor Rivera, and I want to thank them for their leadership, as well as members of my team from technology, logistics, food service, all over, and really trying to push forward this climate action plan and what it could look like. I also would be remiss if I did not recognize the Arizona Youth Climate Coalition. Not only do they do that work alongside the district, they represent our own Phoenix Union students, and they've just been such an incredible, valuable resource to us, connecting us with other districts, aligning things with the city of Phoenix. Shayla and Kayla, and there's a bunch more. They all jump on when they can, but those are the two that come to mind. Thank you for your efforts in pushing us forward. We are a huge footprint in this city, and our community deserves this, and so we're a better district for it. My team fully recommends the adoption of this climate action resolution.
So a motion, could I have a motion to approve the climate action resolution? Okay, so motion has been made by Member Napa, seconded by Member Cross. Is there discussion? I do have one thing I wanted to share. So at least on my end, looking at the resolution, Ms. Andrade is right. We have been working on this as a year. I would like to say over a year because I remember like I was a candidate running for my seat, and they were like hitting up my email, my candidate email. So they're like the students we've been working with have been a mix of high school students, college students, and sometimes middle schoolers, and they have just been very tenacious and very well informed about climate issues, and their emails have been very impressive. Like they're like, okay, like they're like full-on project managers at this point because they assign us things to do. I'm like, what? Like, like they highlight our names and like, okay, board member or board member Meyer, you said you would do this. Have you done it yet? So I just really appreciate the amount of effort that came into this, and I know Phoenix Union students were also involved, and also I remember hearing about a petition about Phoenix Union students also excited about climate initiatives. And I just wanted to point out like the 3 main reasons why I love this resolution, and if anyone else has any other comments, please join. But the main thing is that like it's a starting base for understanding where we are now and where we're already succeeding in our economic and environmentally friendly decisions that we're making. And then it's also like in making us be held accountable by like having an internal task force. So they're making decisions based off of data. So it's very data-led, and Ms. Andrade's team has been very passionate and joining in our meetings and making sure that they're looking at all the right numbers to make sure that we can take this on. And also, I really appreciate how it's not just a temporary measure, it's an annual one. So by passing this resolution, we are committing as a district that we will always, well, every year make it a big effort to make sure we are tracking all of our like water usage, conservation. Like we're gonna have the task force look at what is Phoenix Union already doing now that is climate friendly, and how can we maximize that in a sustainable economic way. So it's a commitment to making this a daily practice. And I also appreciate that in this resolution, we said that we would, quote, incorporate grade appropriate educational curricula in relevant classrooms and programs that equip students with sustainability knowledge applicable to tackling environmental challenges. Like by incorporating that, we're also stressing that environmental care is a daily action. It's your lived experience. It's not just, oh, I recycled today. It's like, okay, like you recycle today, and like, are you recycling every day, and making sure like your little footprint, you're making an impact on your decisions, and eventually like our students are gonna become leaders. Like it won't just be them making these individual decisions, they'll be making it for their companies. They'll be like, okay, I'm gonna choose a more environmentally friendly company. They'll be like a CFO, CEO. So we're really teaching our students sustainable things. Like we're teaching them good practices by adopting this resolution. And then,
Thank you, Clerk
yes.
Meyer. Clerk Meyer, can I say a few words?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge the 2 students, current students that spoke in favor of this resolution during public comment, Dana Juarez and Natalie Mendez Hernandez. I appreciate your comments and appreciate your leadership on this. I also want to thank the student group, youth group that's been working with our district for more than a year. I know I've gotten emails both on my school board email and my legislative email about getting us to do this. I know it's current college students and that are helping to lead this group and leading our students within our high schools. At the legislature, we read our resolutions. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I do think the first part of the resolution is worth reading for everybody. It says, now therefore, be it resolved, PXU is committed to performing a self-audit and report on the current standing of the environmental impact in areas such as their greenhouse gas emissions, water usage and water conservation efforts, school gardening and environmental education programs, and the prevalence of electric vehicles and electrified buildings. Using this data, PXU will form an internal task force at the beginning of the 26-27 school year made up of faculty, staff, and high school students who will monitor the progress made on the climate action plan with the use of dashboards. So I look forward to seeing the task force and the climate action plan and this work continuing to grow. I was going to ask Superintendent Andrade if we could print out the resolution for the youth group that brought this to us and have the board president sign it and make it look official. Get them a copy for that, and then see if we could do some media, send out a press release announcing this resolution as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Is that an official motion? Okay.
I think we had the motion by member Napa and member Cross seconded. So I think we've got our motion, but yes, it has not been adopted yet, so we need a vote first.
Okay. And member Napa?
Yeah, I just want to further resolve that this resolution is a long time coming. When I was a student back in the late 1900s, we had a lot of ideas about where we would be in the future, and a lot of these issues have not been resolved. Water conservation is a huge situation barrier that living here in Phoenix is going to be a real issue by the year 2050, where we're looking at water, we're looking at temperature, we're looking at climate, and last year we had the most days of our calendar year above 110 degrees. Even now in March, it's way hotter than I remember it. So the leadership that it took by our youth to hold the adults accountable is tremendous and should be very, very much lauded. And then just the, like Clerk Meyer said, those emails are amazing. Not only were they very direct, but again, holding the elected officials accountable and also making sure that we're doing the jobs that we said that we were going to do. So wholeheartedly, really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for this resolution. I'm really looking forward to the data, and I'm really looking forward about how PXU can assess our water usage and how we can implement things like gray water systems and solar panels and EVs. And I would also just like to lift up former board member Leila Alston, or Senator Alston. She was recognized this past weekend for her incredible work in the community as an elected official, and I believe solar panels and things in this resolution she would be very, very happy about also. So, yeah.
So if there's no more discussion, all those in favor of this resolution?
Can we have a roll call?
Yes. Okay, all those in favor of adopting 12B as presented, is there a motion? Oh, wait, we already motioned that. Okay, so roll call vote, starting with member Napa.
Yes.
Debbie Cross.
Yes.
Member Oliver.
Just to be consistent, yes.
Representative Marquez.
Aye.
Okay, and I myself am an I/yes. Okay, so motion carries. So resolution is passed. So, yeah. So now we'll continue the agenda as originally.
Yes, so go back to 6A.
Okay, so next item is 6A, Superintendent's Report. Ms. Andrade, please provide your report at this time.
Thank you, Clerk Meyer, board members and members of the community still hanging with us. Good evening. I want to begin my report this evening by updating you all on the district's enrollment and our efforts to plan for the future. As part of the most recent reporting, the district is down 1,500 students from this point last year. So as we continue to project into the future, we do anticipate the release of a demographic study in the coming weeks now that will help provide a lot more data and information around the population shifts in our community. In addition, last week, we did release the budget survey to staff, family, and students to learn more about their preferences and priorities as we continue to look to the future in ways to be efficient and fiscally responsible. I want to highlight Metro Tech High School, who you can see on the screen, recently held a parent focus group to get feedback from their families. Thank you. Campuses across the district will be doing the same in the coming weeks. We have over 2,100 surveys filled out overall, with actually the largest group being our students with nearly 1,200 responses. 221 from families, and almost 1,000 from staff across the district. So we still need to get more voices heard, but as we have done throughout this process, we'll continue to use the feedback to guide the decisions moving forward. Okay, last weekend we held a really successful job fair. I know you heard about that. It was important that we still held it because we have many hard-to-fill positions that are still vacant. In addition, you saw this huge line of interviewees vying for bus driver and bus driver trainee positions. In all, we filled 32 certified positions, one of which comes with a really cool story that I want to share. So in 2022, the student of the year was Ulysses Leon Zavala from Trevor Brown. He's a pretty amazing kid, as most of our students of the year are. And when he was chosen, he was getting ready to attend ASU, and then blink, he's now graduated. And at the job fair, we recently just hired him as an algebra teacher at his alma mater, Trevor Brown. I want to thank him and wish him all the best for choosing the greatest profession in the world. Once a Bruin, always a Bruin. I think this story holds true. Welcome back to the family, Ulysses. All right, we turn our March celebrations now. In addition to Music in Our Schools Month, March is loaded. It's a celebration of our athletic trainers, our procurement professionals, our social workers, and it's also National Employee Appreciation Day tomorrow. So thank you for all our amazing professionals who make our schools great places for our students. Shifting to some more positive news, at the meeting last month, you heard from 3 of our students who traveled to Los Angeles last year for the Black College Expo. And as you can see from the photos recently, we just sent another group of over 100 students to the same expo to learn about post-secondary opportunities at HBCUs from across the country, really. I want to thank all of our chaperones, cannot be easy, for making experiences like this possible for our students. Our next slide, keeping with the college theme, is in recognition of Miss Nikki Allward, who is here tonight, our Academic Success Director, for earning the 2026 Founders Legacy Award from the Be a Leader Foundation. Just last night, we celebrated her, and it recognizes her individual efforts that often go unseen, but are profoundly impactful to our students, families, and our broader community. It was a pleasure and my honor to sit beside Ms. Allward last night. Congratulations for this well-deserved recognition. Our next slide, yeah, that's great. Our next slide is about Brian Perea Rodriguez, which is he's a GTA senior who was recently admitted to the University of Rochester, one of the nation's top private research universities. Rochester is renowned for its rigorous academics, generous financial aid, and its commitment to transformative research and professional growth or personal growth. Brian will be pursuing mechanical engineering with a focus on aerospace. We know he's going to thrive in Rochester's innovative and supportive environment. Please join me in congratulating Brian on this incredible achievement. Our next slide includes a few highlights from Betty Fairfax. As you may know, next year we're officially launching the Fairfax Academies, underway with our newly minted principal, Mr. John Martin Rigsby. And if I haven't recognized you, I'm congratulating you yet again, Mr. Rigsby, for being named the next leader of the Stampede. In addition, I do want to highlight the Fairfax Key Club. They recently prepared over 54,000 meals for their volunteer visit to Feed My Starving Children. That's enough meals to feed 148 children for a whole year. My hat's off to Fairfax. Thank you. Keeping with Fairfax, you've heard a little bit about their boys soccer team. They recently played in the 5A state championship game, and although they did not win, this was a magical season, and we are so proud of you all. And finally, from Fairfax yet again, the city of Phoenix hosted their Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month art contest, and Betty Fairfax Senior Leslie Rascon placed second in the contest. She won a $200 prize, and her art will be on display at City Hall. Congratulations to all our outstanding students and staff at Betty Fairfax. Next, I want to share some incredible testimonials, and I never really want to lose sight of the students who are taking our culturally relevant courses. They're so important and they're so meaningful. As you can see just from the feedback from our students, from the intentional work being done to show our students people who look like them and who have made a difference in society, it's really paying off. I included this tonight to remind us all of how important this work is and that it's truly making an impact. I want to thank the board for your support and the staff for making all these courses possible. They're changing lives. Sticking with Maryville, we do have a story about Maryville GTA at the state capitol. Let's start with GTA, who have been steadily increasing their enrollment. They were invited to the Senate floor alongside the boys basketball team to receive a proclamation from Arizona Senator Annalise Ortiz. The proclamation was for serving the gifted and talented population during the Governor's Gifted Week. Great job, GTA. Recently, 2 of our Feeding the Future competition winners from Central High School Culinary represented PXU and the Blue Watermelon Project at the Sprouts School Garden Summit, sharing their journey in front of nearly 700 educators nationwide. Our students showcased their school meal recipes and demonstrated excellence and community pride. They also led the tasting test event for their competition menu, collaborated with Chef Beltran and Phoenix Union Food Services to feed Central student government and the Blue Watermelon Project representatives. They had a special guest attend as well, with board member Cross enjoying the food. Great job. Hats off to Central Culinary. Turning our attention to the academies at South Mountain, the Law Magnet program recently partnered with the PXU General Counsel, specifically Eileen Fernandez, to bring the Department of Labor to the campus to our aspiring lawyers to hear all about labor law. Exciting stuff. The presentation was extremely well received with over 100 students attending. Great job, Ms. Fernandez and team, for giving our kids this incredible real-world experience. Next, I'm going to highlight and congratulate the DECA programs listed on the screen for earning school-based enterprise chapter certification. To receive this certification, student leaders complete a written project to demonstrate how their SBE met the national curriculum standards and showcase how their retail operations school-based business follows the business model standards. Congratulations to our DECA programs, all these schools, for this accomplishment. About 2 weeks ago, I had the privilege of attending the military ball for the 2nd year in a row and was joined by 3 governing board members. Each time I attend this event, I am in absolute awe of our student leaders who show up and have such a wonderful time celebrating their accomplishments for the year. I want to give a special shout out and thank you to JROTC instructors and student leaders for putting on such an incredible event and for always inviting me and our board to share in their celebration. Next, I'm going to celebrate some of our student athletes who are giving it their all in the playoffs. Some of these you've heard. Let's start with North High School girls basketball team, who earned the most wins in school history and fell just short of the state championship. Next, I want to say the Central boys basketball team, they're still on fire, looking to go back-to-back, winning last night to earn a spot in the state championship tomorrow night against Mountain Point. We need your support, so Phoenix Union, show up. In addition, we have state champion boy wrestler from Cesar Chavez, which is Nicholas Mesa, and the first girl wrestler Alhambra in history to place at state, Lebby Montes, who you heard from Call to the Public. Along with these athletic accomplishments, we have students from across our CTE programs competing at state championships for their chosen fields of study, and our academic students from Maryville competing at state. Maryville's academic will be honored next month in person at our meeting. And then finally, board, before I close my report, I want to share this important video message from our very own members of the Superintendent's Advisory Council to the board. I think member Napa said it great when she talked about just the courage it took for these students to organize, walk out. There's a lot going on right now in the world. It's really noisy out there, and our kids are internalizing it, whether we know it or not. And our superintendent advisory leaders recognize this. And at a recent meeting, they shared these challenges that are impacting mental health. And in true leadership form, they stepped up to the plate and worked directly with our marketing team to put together a video that just, once again, just puts out there where the supports are for their fellow students. And you can find this video on our social media channels, but I am so proud to share it with you all tonight. At the end of this video, that will conclude my report.
Thank you, Ms.
PXU,
Andrade.
We know with everything going on right now, a lot of students are feeling stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed. It's normal to not feel okay about things that are outside of your control.
If you're struggling more than usual, like having changes in your thoughts, mood, or behavior, you don't have to handle it alone. There are people who genuinely want to listen and help starting right here in our community.
Remember, you can reach out to a trusted adult like a parent or guardian or any staff you can trust on campus. They can get you connected to the support you need.
One important resource is Teen Lifeline. You can talk or text with a trained teen counselor. It's a free and private hotline. There are other teens that get what you are going through.
You can call 988 to get in touch with a crisis hotline or visit 988lifeline.org to text or chat with a professional.
It's more important now than ever that we stay connected as a community. If you're feeling this way, just know that you're not alone. Talk to someone new, start a new club on your campus, or reach out to your friends. We're all stronger together.
So remember, asking for help isn't a weakness, it's a strength.
You matter, your feelings matter, PXU's got you.
Thank you, Ms. Andrade, for your report. Next item is 7A, progress monitoring and interim goals with potential action. Ms. Andrade.
Oh, thank you, Clerk Meyer. Tonight, we present the proposed interim goals for our final goal, which is on the CCRI. And there's a reason this one was last, because it's taken some thought and some work by the team to really look at how we're going to measure this. Because remember, we don't wait till senior year to measure it. It just won't change. We've got to really build that system back all the way to the 9th grade and design an interim goal that will help guide our practitioners at the site. So I'm beyond impressed with what our team has accomplished, what they've created. I actually believe we might be the first district in Arizona to have created such a sophisticated monitoring system for the CCRI. But to hear more, not to steal their thunder, I present Chief Tejas, Mr. Camp, and Ms. Tarkington. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Andrade and Clerk Meyer, board members, our Phoenix Union community. Welcome. We're really excited to be able to share with you our proposed interim goals around Goal 1 CCRI this evening. As Ms. Andrade indicated, this really is a measure of a total experience that a student receives while they're with us. It allows us to look at each student's strengths, their interests, and what they hope to do after they graduate, and that's why this data matters. As we begin, we wanted to remind our community about the goal that was adopted earlier this school year. You see that up on the screen. You might recall that CCRA data is an area of strength for us. We reviewed that data with you because it corresponds to our state letter grades back in November. Again, our goal is to provide as many experiences and opportunities for our students. So let's take a look at what makes this up. So as a reminder, as I stated earlier, this is part of our school letter grade system. It's our students' preparation for post-high school in terms of their academics, so the grades they earn, the courses they take, the college exposure they have, perhaps through dual enrollment, the exams that they take, and also career exposure through CTE courses, internships, certifications, licensures, and in some cases, military service pathways. When it makes up the letter grade system for our traditional schools, that counts for 20% of their total school letter grade. And for our alternative schools, it makes up 35% of their letter grade. Again, this data is inclusive of their total high school experience. So let's take a look a little bit more closely at what makes up those college points or blue points and the career points or red points, and what can be counted for both. In your package, you'll notice that you've got the CCRI chart that makes up a lot of detail associated with how students can earn points. These are the same ones that you've been using for your community listening sessions. For our community, however, we're just going to take a really high overview of what makes up each category. So on the left, you'll see that blue is that college readiness. Again, courses, the grades that students earn, the programs they're participating in, and those nationally normed tests. On the far right, you'll see the career or RED experiences. Again, career and technical education courses, work-based learning opportunities, internships, and again, that military pathway if that's something that students wish to explore. In the middle, you'll see purple points. Those are things like FAFSA and diploma seals. The benefit of these points is they can count for either red or blue, depending on where a student's experience has taken them, or they can count for bonus points. Now let's see how this looks different. We're going to be sharing some student examples with you. Now the names have been changed. The pictures don't necessarily represent that individual student because we do want to make sure that we're not violating students' privacy. We also want to remind you that what we're sharing would be typically towards the end of a high school experience or just shortly after they graduate. So what are we hoping to see? We're hoping to see students earn 1 full blue point and 1 full red point. Now for state letter grade formulas, if you think about it, 1 is going to equal 10. So if you get 1 full blue point, you earn 10. If you get 1 full red point, then you can earn that 10. Those added together earn 20. So let's take a look at some examples of our kiddos. I'm going to start on the upper left-hand side there with Benito. Benito is a student at Metro Tech, and he is in the floral program. He has passed all of his courses with a C or better that the Arizona Board of Regents says make him college admissible. He earns 1 blue point for this. He went to the FAFSA and Flapjacks event. He's just recently been admitted to ASU, and he's earned 0.5 purple points. Again, as I mentioned, he's in the floral program at Metro Tech. He's passed his technical skills assessment, which earns him 1.25 points. Now, because he is over that 20, he's got 1 full red, 1 full blue. He actually scores 22 points in this formula. He's a rock star. Now let's take a look at Marisol. She's at Alhambra in the nursing program. She's done really well there. She's passed her technical skills assessment, and she's earned 1.25 points. She's also one of our bilingual students and has worked really hard to earn that diploma seal in biliteracy. That's 0.5 purple. Now, if you didn't know, the Metro Tech Nursing and Alhambra nursing programs also offer dual enrollment opportunities. So she had to pass her AccuPlacer. Now, we're dependent on students to let us know what their scores are and if they passed, and she reported that to her counselor, which gives her 0.35 points. So she's got 1.25 in red, gives her 10. She's got 0.35 in blue, and now she doesn't have all she needs in blue, so that 0.5 can actually be counted towards the blue points. Now, something's missing here because a kiddo with this smart maybe hasn't reported something. So we went back and we said, hey, what else is going on with this kiddo? Well, she was just recently accepted to the University of Arizona, and her FAFSA is pending in that process. Those points could actually push her up to the magic number of 22. And finally on this slide is Trayvon. Trayvon is a student at Fairfax in the IB program. Not too surprisingly, he's really excelled academically, and he's passed his IB exams, earning him 1 full blue point. His ACT scores are very high, also earning him a blue point. He's an arts kiddo, and so he's worked hard to get that diploma seal in arts proficiency, which gets him 0.5 in purple. Now you'll notice for this student, there are no red points. So that purple point could actually count towards red. If you add it all up, he's right at 20. But again, a kiddo like this is excelling, so what's missing? In his case, he just received a letter of acceptance from Howard University. He filled his FAFSA out late because he wasn't sure what was going to happen. If we can get all of that correlated, again, this student will knock it out of the park with high scores. Now, this isn't every student, so let's take a look at a couple of other students. Carol's a student at Camelback. She's been accepted to South Mountain Community College and completed her FAFSA. She's going to get 0.5 purple points. She passed her ACT. She's got 0.5 blue. Again, red points are missing in her case. Now, she may not have passed her classes with that C or better to get the ABOR recognized college admission, so that might be why she's made a choice for community college, or it could be for financial reasons. Either way, her counselor can follow up to see if anything is missing in this scenario. And finally, we have Antonio. He's a student at Trevor Brown. He completed his FAFSA. He must have liked those flapjacks that they had available. He has no plans for continuing his schooling, but that's again an opportunity for a counselor to push in. He likes automotive, and so he took the course, although out of sequence, he at least got some exposure and earned himself 0.25 points in red. In this case, with those 0.25 points in red and the 0.5 in purple, he's got 0.75 in red, but that's not enough to push him up to 10 points because he's missing 1 full point. Now, Antonio is an example of what type of student the goal that we set this year is aimed to address. We don't know everything. He might be ELL, he might be ESS, he might have really struggled to pass his classes. But with students like Antonio, the right systems and supports, he too can be successful in earning those college and career experiences. So with those 5 student stories as context, let's transition over to our proposed goals. You'll hear first from Ms. Tarkington, who will talk about credit currency. She'll be followed by Mr. Camp, who will share some of the tools that we've created, as Ms. Andrade alluded to earlier. Our hope is to help the Antonios and the Carols achieve at higher levels because they'll have extra opportunities their junior and senior year to do so. And with that, Ms. Tarkington.
Thank you, Ms. Tejas, Clerk Meyer, board members, Ms. Andrade. I'm excited to talk about these 2 interim goals as it relates to credit currency, which really builds the foundation. We speak about credit currency very frequently, especially as our 9th graders come in, because we know that if you are credit current, you are on track to graduate in 4 years. However, when we talk about our CCRI points, it gives even more meaning to that credit currency. So just a quick tutorial on what we mean by that. We know that a full-time student in Phoenix Union can take 6 classes, and 6 classes passed a year equals 6 credits. In 4 years, if you take a full-time schedule every year, that's 24 credits, which exceeds our graduation requirement of 22 credits. And again, it's not just the number, it's the credits in the right classes. As we partnered with the Center for High School Success several years ago, we looked at credit currency in the freshman year, or completing the freshman year being at 5.5 credits, which gives a little leeway if somebody stumbles. We don't encourage that, we don't want that, but that can happen as you're getting used to the high school system. And of course, we offer opportunities to retake courses, especially also in the summer months. So when we, again, thinking about that, we want to have that foundation because, as Ms. Tejas talked about, meaningful coursework, the passion, whether it's Marisol in her plans to be a nurse or Trayvon in his love of the arts, if you're passing your classes every year, you're opening up your schedule. You're not repeating English courses, not repeating science or math courses. You're having that opportunity to build your schedule with electives, whether it's CTE pathways, dual enrollment, etc. So I want to take a look at those interim goals on the next 2 slides. So I'll start by reading the goal, and then we'll break down that chart from left to right. So proposed interim goal 1.1 is about being credit current. We're going to start with that current freshman class of 2029. So the goal reads, the percent of students earning 5.5 credits or more in the class of 2029 or 9th graders will increase from 80%, which was the class of 2028 current 10th graders, in August of 2025 to 82% in August of 2026. I just want to remind you again, the reason we're going to look in August is it gives that full school year as well as summer school to get to that credit current opportunity. So if we look on the left, the baseline, we're really looking at what our current 10th graders, right, last year's 9th graders had at the end of the year or in August. 80% of them were credit current. Now as we go to the right, we're looking at our current 9th graders midway through this freshman year. So in December, after their fall semester, 87% of our current freshmen were credit current. And what we're looking at the target at the end of this summer in August 2026 is that 82% of them will be credit current. And I want to take a moment just to talk a little bit about that, just so that, again, we're clear. You might be saying, okay, Ms. Tarkington, if 87% of them were credit current halfway through this year. You know, why would we only be looking at 82%? Well, what we've seen sometimes is a trend that our students are higher midway through the year, even if maybe they failed one course. So I'll use myself as an example. I was a really strong English student, but I struggled a little bit more in math. And so if we had a student who failed math in the fall semester, Algebra 1, they would still be technically credit current because they would have earned 2.5 of those credits because they're halfway, so that would have had that opportunity to have 3 credits. It could be really difficult for a student who failed algebra in the fall, depending on why. It could have been gaps in learning. It could have also been some absenteeism in instruction. So it's possible that they would fail also the second semester. That would have them at 5 credits out of 6, which is not considered credit current. Now, we round as many of those students up in summer school. We actually, our campuses work at options for concept recovery as well, but it could also be possible that the student doesn't make it to summer school, and so that is why you might not be as high at the very end of the school year in summer as you were midway through. But again, we're looking at 82% of all of our freshmen that's getting there. Just a other little fact that I want to share with you is that we were looking back at our trend history. Just in the 2020-21 school year, do you know that only 53% of our 9th graders at that time across our large campuses were credit current? So we're excited that we ended at 80% with last year's 9th graders, and we're again aiming for that goal that 82% will be at the end of this year. So I'll go a little more quickly now on the next interim goal, which is going to look at our credit currency for sophomores, or the class of 2028. Again, reading that the percent of students earning 11.5 credits or more in the class of 2028, or 10th graders, will increase from 75%, class of 2027, current 11th graders, in August of 2025 to 77% in August 2026. So it really reads the same way from left to right. We know that our current 11th graders, 75% of them were credit current at the end of their 10th grade year. Midway through this school year, our current 10th graders are at 76%, and we want to up that goal that by the end of this summer, 77% of those 10th graders would be credit current. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Camp. And again, just a reminder, our kids earning our credits mean that they open their pathways, they're probably graduating on time, and then they're going to naturally earn more of those CCRI points. Mr. Camp.
Thank you, Ms. Tarkington. Good evening, Clerk Meyer, board members, Ms. Andrade, and Phoenix Union community. I'm going to jump us right into interim goal 1.3, which is actually the CCRI points themselves. I'll really hope that so far in the presentation you had a chance to see the entire picture from what Ms. Tejas shared with the blue points, red points, so on, how those are calculated, to Ms. Tarkington explaining that credit currency is what gets our students on the right progress academically, or measures that progress academically. For not only graduation, but also for those college and career experiences that we see these students attain as they progress through their high school. Now, the CCRI opportunities that are identified, that you heard earlier from Ms. Tejas, that prepare students for the future, that is what's being measured here for this interim goal. And this is a complex concept, and I will be sharing how we as a system embarked on a very bold endeavor, not just to develop a progress monitoring system itself and, of course, interim goals, but to bring awareness to campus decision makers such as administrators and counselors alike. And as we all know, awareness leads to understanding, and understanding can lead to impact. And so the credits and the academic progress for our first 2 interim goals, we are now diving and going through interim goal that we've developed a reporting system on, as this is the only data reported to the state that is self-reporting. Okay, let me just move to the next one. This is my favorite one here. You're driving for me. And so as I open with board goal number 1, like Ms. Andrade mentioned earlier, we bring this to you last because we wanted to make sure and develop a really strong monitoring system and tool. Other districts, as Ms. Andrade mentioned, have dashboards that monitor academic progress or test results, and we have a slew of those as well. We use those for attendance data, discipline data, like all of those items. But I, as well, do not know of any other education system that has generated something quite like this. A system to simplify something as complex as stoichiometry in science, the College and Career Readiness Index points can get quite complicated. And before I actually discuss the monitoring tool you're looking at, I'd like to take a personal point of privilege at this time and recognize Mr. Guillermo Del Rey, who's in the room this evening. Mr. Del Rey, if you might mind standing. Some of the principals are going to do a little favor for me right now, but that personal point of privilege is this. Sometimes I refer to him as G-Man. He is the son of a longtime Phoenix Union employee who's also here this evening to see her son being recognized. Came to us from corporate and has the innate ability to learn Power BI on his own. I can't even explain to you what Power BI is, but it takes all of the data that we have talked about and it puts it into such a complex system that's usable and helps answer the question of those principals and the assistant principals and the decision makers on campuses of how are our students doing along the way and who exactly are they. And so as I start to recognize, well actually before I do that, this interactive dashboard actually turns that complex data into clear visual insights so that we can see the progress of CCRI at a glance and drill down to the individual students when needed. Individual to the point that we're, like Ms. Tejas gave with each of those examples. And Mr. Del Rey is a savant who has also been asked to now go to campuses and teach counselors about the indicators and how they're measured. And this has also brought forward some areas that the data is needing to be more accurate, right? Like we're working through the troubleshooting. When you get to the individual student level, the folks at the campus know that student and say, wait a minute, right? And so as this has been developed, it's also being refined. That awareness, again, leads to impact. And so I'm going to just briefly introduce what you're looking at here. On the left, you see a traditional school dashboard. That is actually the class of 2027 that we will be talking about with interim goal 1.3. And then you also see an alternative school dashboard. In previous presentations that Ms. Tejas and I have given you about state letter grades, we've talked about the difference between alternative school and traditional school models. The alternative school dashboard is on an individual student basis, and it actually measures the students on a pathway to graduation. So the CCRI points for alternative schools are much more individualized by student. The traditional school calculation, as Ms. Tejas mentioned, is 20% of that letter grade, is actually a total encompassing score of the senior class for those seniors who qualify for CCRI points. And so what you see here on the dashboard is an overall score. This happens to be for the district. Campuses can drill down and filter their own students, their own grade levels, and really even click on the bottom, middle, or top bar graphs, which are the 0 points, 10 points, 20 points, and 22 points. You see sort of a pattern from previous slides. And then that opens up the information of exactly who those students are and what points they may or may have not yet obtained. It's important to recognize that that on the left is as of December, as is on the right. And as I move to interim goal 1.3, we are going to be focusing on that traditional school model, as our alternative schools have been doing very well in that alternative school calculation. And so for interim goal 1.3, by August of 2026, that's in a few months, by the end of this school year, by August of 2026, after this school year and summer school, our current juniors, our current 11th graders in traditional schools will increase the number of students who are on track to earn college readiness, which is blue points, on average from 0.97 to 1.17 points, and career readiness, or the red points, on average from 0.98 to 1.18 points. Now, I'll talk about the average in just a moment, but similar to Ms. Tarkington's slides, I'm going to go from left to right. The baseline numbers that we used were the previous year's cohort and their average points for blue and for red by the end of their junior year. And so we want to increase those average points by 0.2 points. Remember, the average is similar or same number of students that are below and above. Overall, what is the average of all of those seniors all of those juniors in that class? You see on the dashboard to the right, a circle in blue and a circle in red. This dashboard, again, calculates all of those students in that class, or for us at the district level, and we can see exactly how many points on average those students are obtaining by the end of their junior year. And so as we have shown in previous slides, what could progress monitoring look like? This again is that dashboard of our current 12th graders. So this is actually our seniors, our current class. And this is as of December of 2025. So they have one more semester to accumulate all of those CCRI points. And what you see here on this as of December is our seniors average of 1.5 points for blue and a 1.05 points for red. And so on the blue side, we are already there. On the red, we need some more work to do, but I do have some explanations for that. Again, over on the left, our campuses can drill down to the individual students that have 0, and the students that have 10, maybe as Ms. Taya said, try to push them or get them credit for moving up higher for the things that they have done. And so this is an example of how we could progress monitor along the way with this interim goal. You do see a little bit of information, the perm ID on students redacted there. That is just to protect the anonymity of our individual students. And so this next slide also can show overall encompassing numbers as a whole. And you see the trend from August of 2025 to December of 2025. Our overall goal as a board goal for number 1 is to reduce the number of students in that pink column, reduce the number of 0. And this interim goal is to want to try and reach that 1 blue and 1 red point for our students and measure that average along the way. And so in August of 2025, you can see those calculations there. That's actually 61% of our students that have 10 or more points. And then as of December 2025, after that first semester of their senior year, we are now 70% of our students on track to earn 10 or more points. One more reminder, board, I would say there's at least 8, maybe 10 sets of data that we still have to input after the students cross that finish line in order to fully calculate their points. So when we're looking at a summative measure, we did our best at this interim goal to produce a formative measure along the way. And so with that, board, I'm going to revisit all 3 interim goals one more time. Goal 1.1, as Ms. Tarkington mentioned, is to increase the percentage of students earning 5.5 more credits from 80% to 82%. Interim goal 1.2 is for our class of 2028, or our 10th graders, earning 11.5 more credits from 75% to 77%. And then for the interim goal that I just went through in probably too much detail, we want to increase the average points of our juniors when they finish that year from 0.97 to 1.17 and from 0.98 to 1.18. Again, on track, as Ms. Tejas and I both mentioned, is we really want those students in this interim goal to attempt to earn both a red and a blue, which truly measures our students' college and career readiness as captured in our district's mission. And so with that, board, I will turn it back over to you, Clerk Meyer, for discussion, questions, and potential action of approval of these interim board goals. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentations. It's very thorough, as usual. Any comments or questions? Yes, Member Cross?
Okay, I'm super excited about this. I know you know that. Can you go back to, there was one screen that had the blue and the red, and then it showed the schools and it showed the scores. And one in particular, it showed, that's it. So the third one down. The third one down has 4.5 in red and then 5 point total.
That's correct.
And then 20, and how does he get 20 if he doesn't have any in blue? I caught it, didn't I?
No.
No? What is it?
I was wondering if you were going to come up with the answer yourself. How do you get 22 points?
You get 22 points. I thought you had to get 10 in blue and 10 in red.
1 in each point, right? So you see
Right,
that student
one
you're referencing, how many blue points does he have?
He has 0 blue
Correct.
points. So, but his CCR points are 20. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, so
He can earn 20,
has 20.
but he can't earn 22.
He can't earn 22 points unless he gets a blue point and a red point. And so he could get 8, well, I don't know if that's possible, but he could get 8 red points, but if he doesn't get a blue point, then they don't get the 22 points.
So does that qualify him then? It does, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, I was under the
Yeah.
assumption, which you know what that makes me.
That's okay.
That he had to have some points in the blue as well.
Awareness leads to understanding, right?
I love it.
Well done.
Thank you. This is beautiful. Whoever you are, Mr. Reyes, bless your heart. Wow, I'm excited.
So Board Member Cross, you have the example of Trayvon up here, so it would have been the opposite of that. So he had lots of red points, but this kiddo had lots of blue points.
Right, okay. All right, I was under the assumption that they had to have points in both, and they don't.
That's the goal.
The goal is make them even, I mean, balance the student out, but behold in truth, if he has all those points in the blue is fine. Okay, okay, I love it, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, I have one. No, not that. So looking at I've been hosting a lot of listening sessions, or at least earlier on, and they have been well attended by a lot of students, thankfully, because I really appreciate student voices. And a lot of them have expressed in those listening sessions a passion for their arts classes and how much joy and skill that brings to them. And I just want to understand if maybe I have been like unintentionally maybe misguiding them, because I had thought that, oh, the arts classes could also count as college readiness. I think a lot of people were pointing to like, it was like a lot of the chatter in the room has been arts and then DECA. So DECA, I did tell them like it should count as career ready, like a CTE course, is that correct? I'm seeing nods from you all. Okay, so then that one's good. Okay, for the arts, I guess I had assumed, which you know what that makes me? The seal, okay, yeah. So I was wondering in what ways do you see that arts plays a role into this, like the blue, purple, and red? And if it doesn't fit the mold quite exactly, is that an opportunity for the board to consider another goal in the future related to the art specifically, since it's a passion for students?
Thank you for the question. Oh.
I was really just going to say that art classes are meaningful in a lot of different ways. Number one, they keep students engaged in coming to school, and that might be the only reason they come to school. But there's several different ways that they discreetly earn art credits on here. One is the Seal of Arts, which a lot of kids go for, and that's highly competitive, but a lot of Phoenix Union kids earn that, and the seal earns you points. If you're passing your art classes, you're moving towards the ABOR credits, which gets you a whole point. If you're really, really great at art, unlike me, and you take an AP art class, and you pass the AP 3DE, not 3DE, but the drawing and painting or whatever it may be, that becomes an AP exam, which also counts on the blue side. And so while it's not called out specifically, it's embedded in a lot of the points that they do get. And I don't know if Ms. Tejas, you've thought of any other ones, but those are just some of the ones that come top of mind.
You did a great job, Ms. Andrade. You must have been the Chief Achievement Officer in your previous life. I was just going to reference, for Clerk Meyer, the example of Trayvon is how that seal could count towards those red points, because it's actually purple.
Clerk Meyer.
Oh yeah, so that makes sense. And then I guess in the future, bringing this up to the board, maybe since a lot of my listening sessions have mentioned the arts, but they're looking at it from like theater, like take a theater class or pottery, that I'm putting this as like a seed, thinking like maybe in the future consider a goal around the arts specifically, since a lot of students have been very vocal about arts being a passion of theirs and how that loops into our academic achievement. But because these are all like temporary goals, we're like working through this, it's like our trial period. So just throwing that seed out there from the student's perspective. And then that's the end of my questions for this section. And Board Member Cross?
Two things. This is created by the state, correct? The CCR requirements, those are created by the states. Number two, you talked about somebody had not reported something to their counselor. That's always been my concern, because the kids don't always understand that what they just took or what they just did counts towards this. So, and counselors are busy and trying to find, I'm gathering that this gives the name, this lovely little database that you've created is going to give the name of those kids so that they can check. Also, are the teachers well aware of some of these accomplishments that they need to help make sure the kids report to the counselors?
Clerk Meyer, Board Member Cross, thank you for the question. I'll start, and I'm sure my team will be happy to chime in here. That's the power of the dashboard. So we can drill down now to that student level, and all of the data is now housed in one space. So you're not having to look at multiple places to try and collect that information. And as we increase awareness about what can be reported, it enables our counselors to have better conversations with students and find out what other things they're engaged in and how to collect that information to document their achievement in those different areas. So I don't know if my team has anything else they'd like to add.
I want to thank our team, but before we move forward, I'd be remiss. I would like Guillermo to stand up, please. You are the mastermind behind our CCRI, and we appreciate all you bring to the table. You're creative. You're open to fixing things. You're constantly examining them. Probably to the point where it makes you a little nervous. I know it made me nervous when I would present data. I hope it's right, but it is, and it's okay because we're going to be learning together. We just appreciate you so much on the team. So thank you for sticking with teaching and learning and making their vision a reality. Appreciate that.
Madam Chair?
Okay, yes.
Can I make a motion to approve the interim goals and adopt them?
Okay,
Second.
after I saw Member Napa, do you have another comment? Okay, we'll come back
I have a
to you.
question. Looking at the, so did I hear correctly that our AccuPlacer cut score that qualifies for 0.35, that is student reported?
It is.
Okay. Why don't we get that information from our dual enrollment institutions?
We're working on that.
And then also for our concurrent enrollment, especially for ACE and Hoop of Learning.
Clerk Meyer, Board Member Napa, thank you so much for the question. Yes, we're working on strengthening those partnerships and those data exchanges to make the capture of the data point a lot easier.
Is that something that would be in the IGA? Maricopa, MOA, acronyms, letters?
I may not like it, but we could do it,
Okay.
There might be some resistance because it's deviating from the traditional IGA, but we're always up for pushing the envelope and getting more data, because I think the flow goes both ways for them as well.
Exactly, and quite frankly, it's easily pullable data.
Okay, that's a great point, Member Napa. So I would agree, looking into that. And then, did you
I
have something?
seconded.
Okay, so a motion has been made by Aaron to approve the interim goals for the CCRI as presented, and seconded by Member Cross. Any further discussion? No? Okay, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? No, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Tejas, Mr. Camp, and Ms. Tarkington. Next on the agenda, is, yes, 9N, approval of reduction in force list for the 2026 to 2027 school year. Ms. Andrade.
Yes, thank you, Clerk Meyer. Board, tonight we have the unfortunate reduction in force vote to make. And as you know from the superintendent's report, we do have less students than we did even just last year. Particularly in the area of counseling, I want to just call out our counseling ratios are 325 to 1, which are I think, the best in the state of Arizona. But unfortunately, with declining enrollment, staffing levels have resulted in an excess, particularly with our counselors, but not just counselors, across our sites, with not enough new openings to place them in or to move them into. But as with our language with CTA, as positions do become available, these employees would be contacted for an offer for up to 3 years per the language. But currently, at this point, we're overstaffed in that area, and so we've used a rubric to determine the order and the sites that have reduction in force. And it's resulted in about, I believe, 7 on the list tonight. I'm hoping that number drops even more with some new positions, possibly as down as low as 4 or 5 remaining. So we're just going to keep plugging away at it until hopefully they're all placed, but I cannot promise that. And with that said, we're recommending to move forward on the reduction in force tonight.
Madam Chair, I move to adopt 9N as presented.
Second.
A motion has been made by Representative Marquez to adopt 9N as presented, seconded by Board Member Oliver. Is there any discussion? Okay. And then, does anyone want to explain their vote? Yeah? Okay, so then we'll do a roll call. And then you can explain your vote. So starting with Member Napa.
Yes.
And Board Member Cross.
I'm very angry that I have to make this vote. Yes. I think that the general public does not understand how education is funded, and they should be angry with our state legislature. We have a ARS 15-901-01 that only allows them to go up to, not to go over, 2% increase per student every year. It's killing us, it's choking us, and this has been forever. We all know that the cost of living has gone up, our cost of running a home, running a business, and definitely the cost of running a school district has gone up. So I'm very angry that we still have people in the legislature that say education is important, but they haven't done anything about it. I'm just angry that I have to make this vote, and my vote is yes.
Thank you, Member Oliver.
Yeah, I want to echo what Board Member Cross just said. We have been put in a position where we're affecting our amazing staff, which affects our students. And our state legislature need to get their act together, and we need to start electing people that value public education and want to put the money into and invest into our staff and our students. And that's why I will vote yes.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And then I also am an aye, also echoing a lot of the sentiments of frustration with our state legislator. I think, I remember I was canvassing in favor of the Phoenix Union bond when I was 16, 17, and we were like 49th in funding, and we are still at the bottom of funding. Like, this is ridiculous, and it's really frustrating that not much has changed. And that was like, yeah, I don't know. So we're constantly put in this position, and it's becoming, in a way, desensitizing to, like, where it's just normalized. Like, it's okay to just keep cutting. It's like death by paper cuts, the way funding is in this state. So unfortunately, I am an aye. And so motion carries.
Madam Chair, can I make a motion to combine 9O, P, and Q?
Yes, a motion has been made by Representative Marquez to combine 9O, P, and Q.
So I'm just going to jump in. You could just make a motion to approve all of them together at the same time and skip this motion.
Second.
Yes.
Wow.
I make that motion.
I second.
So approval, yeah. So motion has been made to approve 9OPQ in one sweep. seconded by Board Member Cross. Okay, is there any discussion? Oh, I guess vote for the motion. Any in favor? Yeah?
No, we can have discussion.
Oh, discussion?
if we'd
Okay.
like. Yep.
No discussion? Okay, so all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposition? Okay, motion carries. Moving on to item 9R, consider hearing officer's recommendation and issuance of final order either affirming, denying, or modifying the notice of dismissal of certified employee 2025-26-03E. Is there a motion to approve item 9R as presented?
So moved.
Okay, I heard Member Oliver, and then seconded by Napa.
So I'm just going to jump in just to clarify. This motion would be to affirm the hearing officer's decision and recommendation. Okay.
Okay. And so those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposition? No. Motion carries. Okay, so next item on the agenda is 12B. Oh, wait, no, we did that one.
Yep.
Yes?
Go
Okay.
12C.
Yes, 12C, approval of recommendation for alternative to expulsion for student 2025-26-03. Is there a motion to approve this item as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so a motion has been made by Oliver, seconded by Representative Marquez. Please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposition, no. Motion carries.
Madam Chair,
Yes?
can I move to approve items 12E through M as presented?
12, oh wait, we're moving on to
D.
D. You jumped one.
I skipped one. Item 12D through M as presented.
So 12, it would be 12D through K because L and M are for information only and don't
yes.
require a vote.
Thank you.
Yes.
So the motion would be to approve items 12D through item 12K as presented.
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, that's the motion, and that would be grouping,
D through K.
okay, D through K. Okay, so policy, okay, yeah. So is there a second? Okay, seconded by Board Member Cross. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Um,
Board Member Manapa.
Okay, let me find my notes. 12G, just a general question on the student transportation. At the very first statement, the board authorizes the administration to provide regular school bus transportation to and from school for the following categories. Can I get a definition for school bus transportation? Is that district? Is that public?
Thank you, Clerk Meyer and President Napa. We actually, as we move forward, that's a great catch, one that our team made within the 24-hour window, not to amend the meeting, but we know it was a first read, and we'd like that first statement just to read, the board authorizes the administration to provide transportation, just transportation, to and from school for the following categories. In Levine, for example, it is a school bus, but in other areas, it might be a pass. And so if it's an ESS student, it might be a special school bus. So there's different parameters for different students, and we just kind of want to lay it out as transportation and gone are the days of the regular school bus. So that will come in the second read.
Okay. Second question. The school buses that we provide, or the school bus transportation that the district provides, is that still only for like magnet programs students? Or does it also qualify, like if I lived within the boundaries of Central High School and I needed bus transportation?
I believe if you live within the boundaries of Central High School, but you're further than 1.5 miles, you would get transportation. But if you're like right here on Campbell, you would not. And I believe we do transport magnets. Am I correct, Amy? Yes.
And then I have a question similar to that, mostly drawing from my experience at North High School and then my sister at Alhambra. So when you say transportation, that would also entail not necessarily a yellow school bus, but like a bus card? Is that what you're trying to group in?
Correct.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was my understanding. Yeah, I had also caught that same detail. because, my sister was denied the yellow school bus, even though we're within the Alhambra district, but now I understand it was the bus card, like in lieu of the yellow bus card in practice. Yeah, and I did still have like the concern about like the 1 mile radius versus the 1.5 mile radius. And I know you and I had discussed it briefly, and you mentioned that the difference now in this policy with it being 1.5 is that the other one was just that outdated, is that correct?
It's been 1.5 for as long as I can remember, but I'm assuming that this policy is that old with ASBA. I know elementary schools are 1 mile, but 9 through 12s, again, in my 30 years, have been 1.5, and that is how we're funded from the state on transportation cards. But I suppose I could research it to see if once upon a time it was 1 for everyone, which I imagine that's where that policy originated.
Okay, thank you. And then in connection to that, if a student expresses that they still need transportation, but they fall, like they're like at that 1.5, like let's say they're at 1.4 miles from the school, would that be like if there's extra modes of transport?
I mean, I would probably give them the card, but I'm going to have Mr. D'Alba answer officially.
Every student is provided with a bus card if needed.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We don't go by mileage for the bus cards.
Okay, yeah, that was my main concern, just given like how long it takes to walk that and how hot it gets. Okay, thank you. So I don't have any further questions. And Member Marquez, you have something?
No.
Okay.
Ready to vote?
Okay, so Member Napa?
Let's see. Section A, I'm a little bit confused with A2. Why are we calling out students who qualify for free or reduced price lunch? And how does that qualify them for bus transportation when it looks like it's, why is it different from number 1? I just basically want to know why free and reduced lunches qualify them.
Superintendent Andrade, it's statutory. There's federal laws that apply to transportation when students are receiving certain assistance. So that is a statutory requirement.
I can certainly see your point, though. If it's 1.5 miles, it's 1.5 miles, whether you're free and reduced or not. So anyway.
So we can keep that as is, unless, So the motion is to approve all of these in one sweep. So please indicate that by saying aye. Aye. And any opposition? No, motion carries. Okay, moving on to, is that the end?
So there's 12L and 12M, which are just for information.
Okay, so so the next 2 items, as you mentioned, are for information only, so I'll just read this out loud. There's no action required. So it's the repeal of the governing board regulation EBCD-R-weather-related and emergency closings, and receipt of the revised governing board regulation ACAA-R-Title 9 sexual harassment. So no action. So then that means that's the conclusion of our meeting, but we do have the next regular governing board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 2nd, 2026 at approximately 6 p.m. with the study session starting at 4 p.m. 4 p.m., y'all. We're not starting at 6, we're starting at 4. It's a study session. I'm talking to certain people who come a little late. Yeah, so I want you all here by 3:55, study session. Most of y'all work downtown, so 3:55 p.m. Now 13B, request for future agenda items. Okay, yes, Member Napa?
I would like to understand more about how we negotiate our dual enrollment rate, and if there's any discussion or leeway or negotiation that we can have a flat rate with our with our institutions, especially Maricopa Community Colleges.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. We talked about, I think in the superintendent's report, we were talking about the declining enrollment. When I talk to our partner schools, is there a possibility of partnering with them and their 8th graders at their schools? Do we already do that, or could we make that something that we do? Because I know Roosevelt has been asking us for it.
Stop.
Stop.
Just list the items that you want on the agenda, not where you want to go with them, because they're not up for discussion yet, or proposals of legal action.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Madam Chair, Superintendent Andretti. I would like us to discuss the vacancy on the board.
Okay, thank you. So now, having concluded our business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. A motion to adjourn has been made by Member Napa, seconded by Clerk Oliver. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Motion carries at 8:55 p.m.